EVS class. So children, in this video we are going to start our new lesson, 10th lesson, forms of water. Shall we start the class now?
Forms of water. The contents of this lesson are: how does water change form, the water cycle, and hail and snow. Children, look at the picture. So in this picture there are three things. First one is bricks, second one is oil, and third one is water vapor, isn't it? Whether all these three objects are of same type? Can you find the difference between the objects? Yes. So the brick, when you are touching the brick, it is very hard to touch, isn't it? And when you touch the oil, it's not so hard. And the water vapor, you cannot touch at all, right? So like this, these three objects have some differences. The bricks have definite shape and volume, whereas the oil and the water vapor, they don't have definite shape and volume. And the brick cannot flow, whereas the oil and the water vapor can be easily flowing. And the brick is not compressible. We cannot compress the brick, whereas oil and the water vapor are compressible. Okay, so like that we can say so many differences between these objects. Okay, so based on this nature of the objects, we can say brick is known as a solid object, oil is known as a liquid, and the water vapor is a gaseous thing. Okay, so we have three states of objects. So what are the three states of object we know? The solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, so these are the three states of any element. Shall we see some of the examples of these three forms? For solid form, what are the things? The brick, wood, and the stone. All these are in the solid form. And for the liquid form, what are the examples of things you know? Milk, coffee, oil, okay, blood. So all these are in the form of liquid, isn't it? And for gas, so what are the things you know in the gas form? The water vapor and the oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. So these are all called gases. Okay, now let's move to our first topic of the lesson. How does water change form? Water is the only substance that naturally occurs in all the three forms: the solid form, liquid form, and the gaseous form. So ice is the solid form of water, and water is the liquid form, and water vapor is the gaseous form of water. So water exists in these three forms. How water changes the form like this? Let's see that now. So for this we have to understand some of the basic terms. Okay, the first term is freezing. What is freezing? Freezing is the process by which the liquid form changes into solid form by decreasing the temperature. Right. So when we keep the water in the freezer of a fridge, what happened to the water? The water is changed into ice cubes, isn't it? So the water is in the form of liquid state. Okay, so the liquid state of water is changed into the solid ice form. Okay, so why it happened? When we keep water in the freezer, the water temperature is reduced. So in the freezer, when the temperature is reaching 0 degrees centigrade, then the liquid water is started to change into the solid ice form. So here the process of freezing is happening in this state. The second term is what? Melting. Melting is the process by which solid changes into liquid form due to increase in temperature. Okay, so this we know. When we keep the ice cubes outside, then the ice cube is changed into water form. Okay, so the ice cube is the solid form, right? So when we are keeping the ice cube outside, the temperature is started to increase. Okay, so when the temperature is increasing, then the solid form is started to melt and it changes into water form. Okay, hence the solid ice is changed into liquid water. Okay, so that is called as melting. What's the next term? Evaporation. So what is evaporation? The process by which a liquid changes into gaseous form on heating is called evaporation. So in evaporation, the liquid form is changing into vapor, that is the gaseous form. Okay, so for this you know very well. So when we heat the water in a pan, okay, so when the temperature is increasing, so the water in the liquid form is started to change into gaseous form, that is the water vapor form. Okay, so this process is called as evaporation. Okay, when the temperature of the water is reached the 100 degrees Celsius, then the water is started to evaporate, that is it is started to change the form. Okay, the next term is condensation. Condensation is the conversion of vapor form into liquid form on cooling is called as condensation. Okay, so when we keep a glass of cold water outside, then around the glass we can see the small water droplets. Have you seen like that? This is because the water vapor which is present in the air, when it touches the cold glass, then the vapor is changed into the liquid form. Okay, this is the best example of condensation. We come to know that when the liquid water is freezing, we are getting the solid ice. Okay, and from the solid ice we are getting the liquid water when the temperature is increased. Okay, and when the liquid form is getting heated up, then the liquid is changes into gas form. Okay, when the gas form is cooled down, then again it is changing into the water liquid form. Okay, so in this way the water exists in 3 states. Yes children, I hope this topic is so clear to you all, isn't it? We'll meet again in another video children. Bye.